in the spirit of coming out of a big job, a stressful job, a job where you did experience trauma, if you've had to grow a company of any size or transform a company, it requires emotional, physical sacrifice and traumatic events that happen, including traumatic victories and traumatic failures. Have you ever felt that you were a little different? Me too. My father was an ex-Catholic priest who had a Ptsd in theology, spoke multiple languages, and read a book a day. My mom was a hardworking, oldest of 9 with a master's in English and an ex-Catholic nun. My brother went to the #1 high school in the world, Phillips Exeter Academy, and my sister went to Harvard. Then there was me, the dyslexic middle child, super confident with a chip on my shoulder, so I got into a lot of fights. I love sports and being on a team. It took a while, but I got my degree. I knew early on that my path would be unorthodox, and I needed to learn from the brilliance around me and to develop my own hard-hitting instincts. Now, after 25 years transforming Fortune 500 companies, I'm sharing how I became half monk and half hitman to help others to be balanced high performers in business and in your life. Hello everyone, John Hunter with HunterX here with another session, and this one is serious, it's important, and something I've experienced and I think a lot of you have experienced. I'm going to call it corporate PTSD. So we've all read about PTSD in the military, and it's a serious subject, so I don't make this post lightly. I've been studying it, thinking about it, watching over the years. We've learned more about the intensity and the impact in the brain and the confidence and the self-esteem and addiction with soldiers who are witnessing going through all kinds of trauma. And of course, a lot of times, what do we hear from them? I feel fine. Or I don't feel, I feel not, maybe not great, but it's normal, and they tough it out. And there's all of this now learning that's gone on around military PTSD. Well, in my 25 years in the corporate world, I believe there's a similar, maybe I'm sure different, not as intense. So I don't want to compare the two too much, but there is an impact on being in the corporate world and being at the grind. Maybe you're traveling a lot. Maybe you have numbers to hit all the time. Maybe you have people issues, left, right, and center. You have bills to pay. You have families to feed. And guys, there is a very similar impact to your brain. Maybe your company gets bought. Maybe you get fired. Maybe you have to fire somebody. You ever had to let someone go and watch them cry in your office and not think it has an impact on your self-confidence, your self-worth, your psychology? Have you studied the productivity addiction that comes with being in meetings, especially in COVID-19, being on Zoom calls from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m.? I've done it. I traveled 400,000 miles in 2019, and I felt worse not traveling at all, sitting on Zoom from 6 a.m. to I'm done with the team down in Asia at 8 p.m. and I can't even drag myself to get on the Peloton. And you're thinking to myself, what the hell is going on here? But when you're in the meetings, what's happening? While you feel off, you also feel kind of good because you're checking off some of these boxes. And that's what dopamine in the brain does, right? It gives you that sense of accomplishment. And there's a good balance to having some good structure, but it can't be the addiction to the meetings. And when you come out of a big job or any job and you get thrown into peace and quiet, and you can read some of these examples in military and other industries examples, you just don't know what to do with yourself. You feel you should be productive. You feel you should be in a meeting. You start filling it with stuff. You start talking fast. You start criticizing family and others, and you really maybe even start filling it with other things in your life to make you feel, to get that dopamine hit. And guys, you got to watch for it. You got to get yourself out of that mode. Whenever I counsel anybody or coach or advise anyone coming out of a big job, a lot of you listening may have gotten my counsel. What's the first thing I tell you? Go on a walkabout. The Australian Aboriginal, wherever it came from, walkabout. Like, go on a journey, get rid of your phone, get a book, sign up for a yoga instructor, go on a retreat, and go get all of this stuff out of you. Here's the problem. A lot of times you don't think you can. You may have a spouse or a parent telling you, oh my God, projecting their fear onto you. You better get to work. You better get into a meeting. You may feel that yourself. Like this is not, society will not allow me to do that. And it's nonsense. It's actually how you can learn from your job you're just coming out of. It's a great way to decompress. When you start interviewing for your next job, the first thing people are going to want to be gauging you on is, hey, what did you learn from that experience? Are you calm? Are you centered? Are you open-minded? Are you self-aware? Did you come out of something and then you're just hyper defensive describing yourself in that job? Because that's what they see, and that's what they'll pick up on, is that confidence. And a lot of times, if someone's smart, they'll look at you and go, Bob, Mary, just go take some time. Just take some time and get rid of the meeting. And if you want to put some meetings on your calendar, put a TED Talk on your calendar. Go see your kids' recitals on your calendar. Go surprise your spouse on your calendar. Journal and write down all of these thoughts that are in your head every morning, 6 a.m. Not a lot of these things are new, but in the spirit of coming out of a big job, a stressful job, a job where you did experience trauma. If you've had to grow a company of any size or transform a company, it requires emotional, physical sacrifice and traumatic events that happen, including traumatic victories and traumatic failures. If you remember, we started off HunterX talking about the power of self-esteem. If you like yourself in your lowest of low moments, it will come through. It just doesn't matter. No one gives a shit. No one's thinking about you, although you think they are, because you're sitting now at home. You're not in a bunch of meetings. You're looking for that dopamine hit. You have not gone on your walkabout. So your mind's going to go to all these really dark places, including people putting that garbage in your brain. You got to get rid of it. It's all nonsense. Nobody is thinking about you. When they do talk to you, they're going to be looking at one thing and one thing only: your confidence, your calmness. So trust me on this one. You're coming out of a big job, I don't care if you have 5 offers the next day. Don't take them. Put some of them on hold. Maybe you really love one. Maybe tell me I'll take it, but I'm going to go take 2 months, and then get out of Dodge. Get out of your comfort zone. Get out of your home. Get out of your environment, and go learn from this 2, 5, 10-year place you're at. Remember, I was at CA Technologies for 18 years. Think about all the stuff I needed to unpack from that experience, where we just had trauma and wins and losses all the time. I did do it better and better later, but I did not really do it that time. And it is something in retrospect. What would I have done leaving CA at year 18? I would have gone off the grid. I would have thanked everyone for their help and support. And I would have gone and said, hey, what's the next version of me? And lastly, as we mentioned in the beginning, you may not feel that you have this corporate PTSD in you. Just humor me. Assume that you do. Go do the journaling. Go get in some yoga. Go rest. Go hike. Go spend time with your family. Go take the meeting addiction. Turn it off. And give yourself a month and see how you feel. HunterX. I'm John Hunter. I hope you're getting better in business and in life with some thoughts and ideas that you may have heard before, but maybe now you heard it in a way where you can apply it. Talk to you soon. Good luck, everybody.